Hi, my name is Jamece. I'm 24 years old. I'm from New York City. I was born and raised there. Moved to Baltimore when I was 16. Lived in Baltimore for about 3 years. And been in the PG County, DC area now for the past 7 years. And I'm here to tell you my story. When I was 11 years old, I actually just came back home from sleepaway camp, and my mom recently had my little sister. She actually was 2 weeks old, my little sister Helena. But I was happy I was back home from camp. But that night, I noticed something completely different. I shared a bedroom with my brother and sister at the time. We went to bed regularly that night, like per usual. What little kids wear, a nightgown, like a little Cinderella nightgown, something like that. But then around midnight, 1 a.m., I would say, I heard the door crack open. I was pretending to be asleep because I was not allowed to be awake after a certain time. Long story short, he ended up just laying in bed with me, my stepfather. He didn't even touch me or anything like that, but it felt really strange and awkward, like why did he decide to lay in bed with me that night? And it started happening more frequently, so it went from happening maybe 1 night a week to possibly 2, 3, 4 nights. As he got comfortable, I guess, sleeping in the bed with me together, he started doing more things. I remember one night, he thought I was asleep, I suppose. He decided to put his hand in my pants. He didn't touch me or anything like that. He was putting on my underwear. But I was pretending if I stay asleep or stay still long enough, eventually it will stop happening. But it just got worse. I guess he got felt comfortable doing that one. He moved on further and further. By the time I realized this thing at hand, I started wearing pants. I think that was the first time my mom should have realized, because I never wore pants at that. I was a really girly girl growing up. I love wearing dresses, nightgowns, things of that nature. So I started requesting pajama pants for bed, wearing leggings, tights, anything I felt would make it more difficult for him to get down my pants. So I guess that should have been the first time towards my mother, but she worked 2 jobs, so she never was really home. He was home more often taking care of us, so I guess she didn't notice the slight changes. So from there, when it started progressing more, I tried to let my mother know, like, Mommy, this something's not right. I have to tell you something, but she was like, Jamece, just calm down. Everything's going to be okay. They're just overseeing things. I guess she didn't quite understand where I was coming from, because I didn't know how to explain to her what was happening until I was only 11 years old. It wasn't until I was 12, a whole year passed, he actually penetrated me. I just remember waking up and some man just been on top of me. I just freaked out. I really didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should keep pretending to be asleep. Should I start screaming? Should I attack? I had no idea. So the very next day, I went to my mom's room and told my mom, I said, Mommy, I have to go to the doctor. I really have to go to the doctor. And he comes in the room and is like, Adrian, you know how Jamece is, just a hypochondriac. That's just Jamece is crying out for attention. And I was like, you're right, Jamece, you always say you're sick or hurt. It's like, no, Mommy, I really have to go to the doctor. Like, something down there hurts. She's home one day with some cranberry pills, talking about, it's part of being a woman. You might probably be yeast infection. I started, no, it wasn't yeast infection. I knew something wasn't right. So after me trying to explain to her for 3 months what's happening, I left notes in the mailbox. He would find them, he would beat me and my brothers and sisters, and it's like, if I did anything, there would be no life, the comfortable living, there would be no more. So after a while, I just grew content with it. At that point in my life, I realized when I was 12, I had to, suppress certain things, so the rest of my family could be comfortable and happy. I'm the oldest of 7. I come from a pretty large family. 5 of us grew up together in the same household, and we were living pretty comfortable for the lifestyle we're living. So I figured, I would just take this one for the team. I don't know if that was the right logic for a 12-year-old to have, but at 12, I was thinking that we had a place to live, food to eat, so I was okay. So fast forward to a few months, we moved to a new location. We still live in the Bronx. We moved to a new location, it's a new apartment, we set up rules. At this point now, I was getting my own bedroom. They did for my little sister, who recently was just born, in the room with me. But I figured that was a way, so that way he can get more access to my room. I wasn't allowed to lock my bedroom door because, God forbid something happened to Helena. Like, what if she's crying at night? You can't lock your bedroom door. I started locking my door to protect myself, and even to this day now, I've locked doors just out of habit. I figured locking the door is the best way I can keep this man out my bedroom. But I guess they saw me being a rebellious teenager, like, she's just trying to, be private. Like, what are you locking doors for? You don't pay bills around here. And it was that sort of mindset. It just got pretty rough from there. My mom, she got a new job. She was going to night school, so she became a surgical technician. She worked at the hospital still as a telephone operator. She was still working her other job as well, too, so she was never home at that point. So he was the sole caregiver. He was there all the time. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I had to be home by 6 p.m. had to make sure everybody had dinner ready, make sure everybody had breakfast ready, make sure people were dressed in the morning for school. I had to take everybody to school, pick them up from the daycare. I assumed the role of, I guess, my mother. Because she wasn't there, I filled in the void for her. And pretty much he did anything he wanted to do. At that point now, he didn't wait till I was sleeping anymore like he used to. If I was in the shower, he was walking in the bathroom after the shower and just hop in the shower with me and do whatever he wanted to do. Just to, I guess, prove his dominance or his power or his control. Also, he got kind of creative with different punishments. Let's say, for example, I didn't take the trash out in a timely fashion, I just stand in the corner naked. At 14, 15 years old, you can't just have one stand in the corner butt naked. I would tell my mom like the things he was doing. She's like, no, Jamece, like that makes no sense. He wouldn't do that. He would like tell my mother, I didn't do that. I remember one time I was 15 years old. It was right before we decided to move to Maryland. I was in the kitchen with mom and we're talking about something. I can't quite remember the conversation, the argument, but it came up to him, and I was like, Mommy, you know, so Mr. Rob is a liar. He's a liar. And she's like, Jamece, so using like the word liar is such a strong word. I was like, no, Mom, you understand. This man's a liar, he's conniving, he's evil, and you just don't see it. And she slapped me. Like, there was blood everywhere. It was really, really bad. And at that point, I realized at 15, like, my mom doesn't even see what I'm saying. She's like, this man's completely brainwashed her. I just did what I kept on doing, burying it deep down inside. And I started to become more involved in high school. I was on every executive board of every program they offered at my high school. I was in the drama team, I was in the dance team, I was in the community service organization, I did softball, I did volleyball, I did tennis. Anything I could do to stay out of the house and not be home so that I could prevent it from happening to me, I was doing that because that was my only safe bet. I even contemplating running away. I remember being 15 years old, sitting at home, trying to find all these chairs to find the house, gather all the chairs together, packing a small bag, and then realizing, you know, I can't run away from home because I want to still be able to eat. I'm highly involved in school, so the school windows are missing. So I started and talked myself out of running away, but I just knew this environment, the situation I was in was not good. You know, when you're 15, 16, when you're dating, I would talk to different guys. The few guys I did consider my boyfriend, I told them, like, you know, my stepfather's actually abusing me. They were like taken aback by the issue. So I pretty much convinced them just to keep quiet about the issue, don't tell anybody, and they went along with me. It wasn't until my last boyfriend, we dated for about 3.5 years. I told him everything that happened. From the time I was 11 to 16 this happened, it started out this, and this. He's like, you can't keep living like this, Jamece. You can't keep trying to protect your family, because how am I being a role model to my brothers and sisters if I keep doing this to them? When he explained that to me, I realized, like, you're right, you know, I'm not being a good role model to my sisters. By me doing this and keeping silent and keeping quiet about the issue, I make it seem that it's okay to keep stuff under covers, but it's not okay. So I remember that night, it was in November, my senior year of high school. Me and my ex-boyfriend, we went to mom, she was like, Mom, I gotta tell you something. And my mom burst out crying already. She all that piece and I thought I was pregnant, and I was like, no, that's not why I brought you here, something way more serious. So I sat down and told her, I was like, from the time that, you know, Helena was born up until now, your husband's been doing this, he's been doing this to me. He's been doing it to me on a consistent, regular basis. I remember telling her this, and her face, like, she sat there, she didn't have any expression, any emotion. To this day, I do not know if she had an inkling of what was happening before then, but at least she was on my side. We called the police, we got a lawyer, I was getting a state attorney, told them to take prosecution everything that happened. I would sit down and give millions and millions of different, like, documentations, get my story on camera several different times. I had to see several different specialists, millions of different doctors, people who want to probe me. And the main question was, why did you let this happen so long? But at 11, what do you do when someone starts doing this to you? And you don't have that freedom to do whatever they want to you. You can't really not say that. I guess that was the major thing I kept combating against when I finally did come forward and tell the people. At the end of the day, he was found guilty, but he only received a year in prison and 5 years probation in the state of Maryland. He actually recently was just released in Maryland from office probation. He moved back to New York. So I have to go back to New York if I want to continue on this process. But at this point now, I'm just so burdened by this. I don't want to continue anymore. I can't imagine having to share this story all over again.